thanks for watching Talk Local on Rogers TV. I'm Haley Zimak. Well, you can look around. Almost everyone is on their smartphone, typing and texting away. Pre and teens stand silently in a circle sometimes, fingers flying, not saying a single word. Texting, is it the universal form of English, or is it ruining the language and producing a generation of illiterates? Well, researchers from 3 Canadian universities think this new form of communication has actually made us all the more creative. They say that people are using English in a very specific, constrained way. Sarah Manette reports.
Text messaging has changed the way we traditionally converse, simplifying commonly used sentences into acronyms that many of us may have a hard time understanding.
LOL, OMG, BTW,
BRB,
LOL or BRB or G2G.
Researchers at a number of universities across the country say that this new form of communication indicates we are becoming more creative. But the students here at Our Lady of Fatima Catholic School in Cambridge say the short form of the English language is just an easier, faster way to communicate with their friends.
I find that it does help go faster. I don't think it really makes me lazier or more creative. I just do it because it's a quicker way to do it.
For text messaging, it's just supposed to be quick. It's not supposed to be a particularly long conversation, just quick little messages.
I think it doesn't make you creative, just it's quicker and more efficient.
I don't use English, the proper English and grammar, because, well, I just find it easier because instead of like typing like got to go, you just say G to G and then it's done.
When it comes to their academics, these students know when to apply the rules for spelling and grammar. But on the odd occasion, these text messaging shortcuts do happen to sneak their way in to their schoolwork.
I can generally kind of switch over my brain from my texting English and for my writing and essay English. So I've never really mixed the two up.
I've seen people who have, and I just like commented, oh, you just wrote the U instead of the Y-O-U, but I've never had it happen to me.
Not when I'm writing, but this has only happened a couple times when I'm like typing an essay up or something. Sometimes I will put the U there by accident, but then I realize it.
On the computer, yes, but if I'm writing it down, just like Sebastian said, then no. Just on the computer, because on like MSN or something, I'm just typing it like that, and an essay is kind of just like the same thing, typing, so.
When verbally speaking with their peers, these students know what to say, but sometimes for a bit of fun, the text messaging lingo makes its way into the conversation.
Sometimes we say OMG, but that's pretty much the extent of it.
I think if we're just like joking and just kidding around, but if we're actually serious and just in a conversation, it doesn't happen normally. It doesn't get to your verbal speeches a lot.
The one thing my friend and I do together is burbs, which is BRB, and we'll just be like burbs, and then we'll like walk or do something and then come back.
In Cambridge, I'm Sarah Manette for Talk Local.
Okay, and you can get involved in our conversation. Is mobile technology making our kids smarter or leading to shorter attention spans? What do you think? 519-893-6905 at Talk Local WR or talklocal@rogers.com. So in studio with us, we have Michael Redfern, a technology consultant and district e-learning contact with the Waterloo Catholic District School Board. We also have Roland Chidiak, grade 2 teacher, Our Lady of Fatima Catholic Elementary School. So thank you both for being here this evening. I did tell Sarah to sign off with TTYL, but we weren't sure if that was appropriate. So I just want your take on this. I mean, is there a line, we heard the children touch on it briefly, that when I text, it's to be with my friends, it's to be casual. Do you ever find it creeping, though, into the schoolwork and into the essays and into the papers?
I think for myself, in talking to teachers at the high school level, that it is creeping in. There's no doubt about that. But you know, Marshall McLuhan, the late great communications professor from the University of Toronto, said that as we shape our tools shape us. And I think that's what's happening, with mobile technology, with texting, with Twitter, with Facebook, that all of these small screens are forcing us to change the way we communicate. And I think it can be a positive and a not so positive thing. The positive being that I tend to agree with the professors that were cited earlier, is that I think our students are getting smarter in a sense, and smarter and more literate. they're more literate than any generation ever before, I think. And you know, they're being forced to write concisely now on these small devices and to really get their point across and be more economical in their writing. So as long as they're more articulate as well, I think it's a good thing. Some of the drawbacks, I think there's room for miscommunication there. It's because the media is so small, because it's so quick, the way that information is communicated, that there's room for misinterpreting text.
Sure, you can't tell the tone of a message, or
exactly.
You know, one letter can lead to not the most desirable effects if it completely changes the word and the meaning.
Right, so
Okay.
case in point would be my daughter the other day wanted me to pick her up from dance, so she sent me a text, can you pick me up? And so that I was in a hurry, so I wanted to send just a quick answer, a Y for yes, so I sent that to her, and then she responded, well, what do you mean why? Because Mom can't pick me up. And
Because dance is over and I needed to pick me up.
exactly, so I had to clarify that and send another response.
Okay, good point. I like it. Roland, what do you think? I mean, is this helpful? Is this a hindrance?
I definitely think it's helpful, especially as a grade 2 teacher. I know my students they're not really texting much, but they're very into the technology. They're very familiar with it. They know that their parents have Blackberries and iPhones, and they have iPod touches at home, and we have them in the classroom too, so they're aware. They're not at the same level. It's not really creeping in grade 2 and 3 as it is in grade 7 and 8. But I think it's all about the teachers and their expectations and kind of leading the students to positive outcomes. So I hear about it in the staff room, but I don't personally see it with the grade 2s.
Not quite there yet.
No, they're more just being introduced to it. They're having the time to use it in class or to use it at home for the fun things that they do with it, not really communicating yet. I have some students, though, that communicate with their grandparents using Skype and things like that, so they're very aware that these technologies are out there.
Okay, and I do want to talk a little bit more about some of the technology that's been implemented in classrooms. We do need to take a break, but one quick thing I wanted to ask, Michael, how is it to get the kids to turn off their cell phones and to put them away and not to use them in class?
Right, so we don't have one overriding policy for the entire school board.
Okay.
We like to leave it up to the autonomy of the individual schools, the principals in consultation with the teachers to decide what's best for them, because we do have you know, those teachers who are really eager to use the technology,
Okay.
who can leverage that technology.
Okay,
in the
so it's an
classroom.
individual kind of case-by-case basis
Correct.
there. Okay, interesting. We will continue on with our conversation. Again, you can always get involved. We are talking about technology, is mobile technology making our kids smarter? What do you think? 519-893-6905. We'll be back right after this. Hi, welcome back. Michael and Roland still in studio with us from the Waterloo Catholic District School Board, and we're talking about technology in classrooms. So I wanted to ask you then, Roland, how are you finding it? I know grade 2 teacher, but how have you incorporated, and how has the board incorporated different forms of technology to help with the learning process?
Well, a few years ago, I talked to Mike about my interest in using an iPod Touch in my classroom, and he had a few of them, and so he lent them to me. And over the past 2.5 years, I've used them to help my students with their literacy and their numeracy, even preparing them for the sacraments in grade 2. Wow. So it's been a very powerful experience in my classroom. And then more recently, our school board now has these projectors in the classroom called BrightLinks projectors. And so what happens is I can project things onto a whiteboard off of my computer. And so it's completely changed the way that I do my lessons. The children are more involved in the lessons because of the interactive whiteboard. So
sure, and I remember the projector that you couldn't get it to start, and the teacher was there trying to put marker on it, and so things have changed just astronomically then. And do you find, are the kids then more engaged? Are they more willing to learn and have fun and play with it when they have this technology at their fingertips?
I'm hearing, I go back 5 years, and we had an interactive whiteboard pilot, and we had these great rear projection whiteboards that teachers were able to use. They're interactive, they're touch sensitive, and students and teachers love them. So they love the new technology, and it really gets at learning. If we can improve student learning through the technology, it's great. I mean, with these BrightLinks, we're talking about really layering the technology, 3-point plan. We've got the BrightLink projectors, so they're interactive projectors that you know, based on infrared technology, where students and teachers use an infrared pen, can manipulate the image on the screen, and you know, basically you know, guide their way through the you know, through the internet, that type of thing, and through resources. wireless networks are now, we're rolling those out into the system so that in every elementary school we have at least 2 access points. In every high school we have an average of 12 access points, so that we can now leverage the technology that students and teachers will be bringing in eventually to the classroom. So it's the whole BYOD, or bring your own device initiative, that I think that we're really shooting toward.
And it's important to stay on top of it, right? I mean, it moves so quickly. You have to do it now, and you have to really follow through with it, right?
Absolutely.
And do you find that, I mean, Roland, was it something that, was it easy for you to get used to incorporating this, or do some teachers maybe kind of struggle with it a little bit more if they're not used to it, or has it been a pretty soft learning curve for everyone?
I wouldn't say it's been a soft learning curve. Everybody's at a different comfort level.
Okay.
Myself, I'm really into it. I'm really excited. I feel like it's natural to me. So I'm having a lot of fun with it, and my students are as well. But my colleagues, some of them are just slowly getting into it because they don't do the same things I do at home with technology.
Right.
But I mean, they're not afraid of it. They'll sit down, they'll try to work with it, and they'll ask questions, and they seek the support. And so people like myself offer it to them, and slowly but surely we're moving in that direction.
And is this something that you just foresee? Is this the future now? Is this going to be the norm, with every board or school or classroom having something that is not just your plain old book or projector? Is this the way things are just going to go and are going to continue to go?
Absolutely. I mean, young people are demanding it. They're completely wired in a sense that they're really DFL, right? They speak digital as their first language, whereas people, I think generally speaking, those over 30 are DSL, right? Yeah. Digital as a second language. Yeah. So they're immersed in it, and they're really demanding the technology. And one way to accommodate the new technologies in 21st century learning environments, that's what we're talking about, breaking down those traditional four walls of the classroom, is that we've made the decision to hire a 21st century learning consultant last year to actually go out and help with professional learning with the teachers.
Okay. And how is this going to prepare the students when they go into the future as well? Let's say job market and career fields. I mean, grade 2 is little, but it's not that young or that little anymore, is it? When you think about long term, and they need to learn these things now for the future and for any potential jobs, is that something that's top of mind as well?
I think so.